I'm here at the Filmfest Emden-Norderney I, and my guest today is Miia Tervo. And it's a real honor to have you here. Before we talk about your new film, I would like to mention your first film, Aurora, which I saw in 2019 at the Nordic Film Days in Lübeck, and with a powerful performance from Mimosa Viloma. It was one of my personal highlights of that year's festival. So it's sad that this film still isn't available here in Germany. So
isn't it?
I've looked it up and I couldn't find anything.
Maybe they didn't dubbed it, or maybe
Yeah.
maybe it's subtitled only in English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I really want to see it again. But now you're here with your new second feature film, OHJUS,
Yeah.
or the Missa, as it's called internationally. Here in Germany it will be called Neuigkeiten aus Lappland, which means news from Lapland.
Yeah.
So which title do you prefer?
Actually, I really much like the new one, the German one. I was really like when I was talking with the German distributor about it, and they have Torsten have invented it. I think it was a really good one.
I think so too.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't we think of it ourselves? You know, but I think it's a really good one. But of course, it depends on the time. I started writing it in about 5 years ago. Then it would have Then it was easier to call film the missile. These days, you know, it has started to, of course, the connotations and everything is so different now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for our viewers who are not here in Emden, can you tell me in just a few words what the film is about?
Well, the film is inspired by the real life events in 1984 when Russia, or back then Soviet Union, shot a missile to Lapland in northern part of Finland. And then the whole village and the Finland was confused, and nobody said anything about the Finnish government. And it was really like a strange, crazy incident where all this international press started pouring in, and then you know, people were saying that why don't you react on anyway? Why do you just keep silent? And it was that the Finlandization was a way of coping in that time. So it started to interest me, these kind of like borders and boundaries. How do we react when somebody is like attacking us, or when somebody is like when somebody's attacking us, how do we behave? Like borders and boundaries. So it's also about personal boundaries. Like how do you keep your like personal boundaries, you as a nation and then as a person.
I really love the dark Finnish humor. I'm a huge fan of that. And you absolutely nailed it in combining that with a very dark topic of abusive partnerships. And the scene where the mother offers her ex-husband biscuits and tea and says, oh, you really sadly changed, that was really hard to bear. And there's an even harder scene later on, which I will not give away to here. But did you choose the humor to make these scenes more bearable? Or what was the reason?
I think so, and many times it's just kind of, I just have a vision of film, how it goes, and then I just follow the vision, you know, it's just really clear in my head that this is the scene, you know, it's like this. So kind of like, it might sound strange, but I don't kind of choose anything, it's just like, I just do what I see, you know, like, of course that's a decision too, to do what I see, but then again, and many times I try to think again, like adjust the humor, for example, is this too much or is this too little, and then I can take takes which are like more like easier one, with an easier, like not so hardcore humor, but usually I end up using in the editing room the most like craziest one.
Yeah. You created these incredible characters where almost everyone is weird on its own. How did you come up with all of these? Are they maybe based on real people, or how do you find them?
Yeah, they are actually, or they are bits and pieces of people. You know, it's never like a person that I just kind of duplicate to the film. It's more like I'm inspired by some characteristic in some person, and then I just like. Then again, the person comes in my head or somewhere in my vision, and then I just write down what I see. So it's kind of, I notice and I make that I can just see some characteristics in some person, and then I just like it just develops kind of in me, and then I write that as a person, you know. So it's kind of like inspired by some little bits and pieces of people.
Playing the lead character Niina, I think her name is Oona Airola. She's incredible.
Yes.
And she also was in your first film, Aurora.
Yeah.
So where did you find her?
Well, she's a really like known actress in Finland, so you cannot miss her if you live in Finland. She's really well known and appreciated and awarded many times in Finland, like a very like famous actress in Finland. So you can't, not everybody knows her in a way. So she was like already in school doing a lot of like interesting works, and she's really amazing person. So it's like you cannot miss her.
Yeah.
You know, like.
That might explain why I thought I had the feeling I have seen her before.
Oh,
Not only in Aurora, but
in
somewhere else.
Korrespondenz, if you know the curious, what was the Olli Mäki's, the happiest day in the life of Olli Mäki. Yeah, there.
Exactly.
Yeah, there is Oona.
Now I know.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I've been to Finland a couple of times now, mostly Helsinki, but I've also seen Turku and the highway from Tampere down to Helsinki. But I've never been up to Lapland. So where your films are located, and I think you're based there, right?
I grew up in Lapland,
Yeah.
but now I live in south,
Okay.
next to like little village near Helsinki.
So does the northern Lapland part differ in some ways from the south?
Yes, very much so. It's totally kind of like a different country.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like it's really like a different atmosphere, different people, different culture. Of course, it's kind of strange because we speak the same language in a way, but the dialect is really different. And then it took me a while that I understand the dialect in South, and then it took me a long time, and still I don't get some cultural nuances of how people behave in South, and the humor is also very much more like dark toned and harsh maybe in the up north. Okay. So my humor is sometimes, you know, they don't quite get it in the south. So.
Oh, I love it. I love that humor. So when it comes to Finland, I have a soft spot for it, especially the sweets from Fazer. And what I love the most and miss the most is leipäjuusto.
Oh, it's so good.
Which is a special squeaky cheese which you eat with laka jam.
Yes.
And so when you're far away from Finland, like right down here in Emden, what do you miss the most?
Now when you mentioned I miss berries, and this like in the breakfast I eat berries a lot. I'm a berry picker also. I love going to the forest and pick berries myself. I'm like this like archaic like picker woman, you know, like when it comes autumn and start in the nature on the berries and apples and all that comes from the forest and from the gardens. I just like wanna you know, go there like an animal and eat everything from the forest.
Oh, that sounds lovely. So when Russia invaded the Ukraine, you had already written some drafts of the script. So did you at some point thought that this story might be too relevant again today to go on? In
February 2022, the script was ready, and when Russia invaded brutally Ukraine, of course it was really like tragic and sad day to especially people, of course, in Ukraine, but it's in all over the world and in Europe. So it was a sad day and really horrible day also to us. And we actually cried with my producer. We were watching it from the television. We woke up early in the morning and we were watching, you know, I remember watching the tanks and then we were calling and crying because it was so hard. And of course the main feeling was we were thinking of Ukrainian people, and the film became like later like what to do with the film or anything. And after the shock, and after of course it's still a shock, but now it took maybe a week or so, we started to think what to do, and then it started to kind of grow more powerful that, you know, this bullshit needs to end, that, you know, we need to stand up also and do our everybody, we should do our part against aggression and against violence. So we just decided to do it, you know, like even give more to it, you know, like it gave us more like stamina, you know, like we need to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you decided to do this film either way. So I'm even happier that you found a German distributor with Vision, and the film will come out here in the German cinemas on November 14. At least that's the plan for now.
Yes.
What do you hope that people will walk away with after watching your film?
That's a very good question. I always hope that people would get it. I want to give my film is like a gift to people, to a person. So I always I hope that the person leaves, that she or he feels like they have gotten something in their hearts. You know, like that they remember who they are themselves. You know, like they start to think about their own lives and their own relationship towards violence or towards aggression, and about borders and boundaries, and you know, but mainly that they have a kind of sense of themselves, because I think many times good art, we remember who we are when we are watching. It kind of reflects ourselves, and you know, we feel maybe relieved a little after laughing, maybe crying a little bit. So it kind of like makes us lighter. So I want to kind of give joy and make people a little bit lighter. You know, even though it's a little bit hard trip also, but it can make you lighter when you just like go into the flow of film.
I absolutely had that feeling after watching your film, so you
really?
absolutely succeeded in that. So I'd like to ask a hypothetical question
Yes.
to all of my guests, because I think having a budget and having a limited time is mostly good for a film, because at some point you have to get creatively challenged.
Yeah.
But would you have done anything different if you had, let's say, unlimited time, endless money? Or would it still be the same film?
I would have, probably I would have involved some cast from abroad, probably. The abroad cast is a little bit more expensive to do the roles which are like those newspaper people from. I would have written some more roles for foreign cast. And then I could have flown a little bit with more with fighter jets. It's really expensive, but I got to fly with them. I wasn't on board, but I was directing the actor when he was on board. So maybe I would have done some tricks with that, and maybe a little bit more shooting days. But you know, I'm still very happy. I'm very satisfied and very happy with the film. So that's why these are like really like luxurious extra wishes. You know, like it doesn't matter. These are like just for fun. So wasn't kind of lacking anything. We made the film in the size that it can fit to the budget, and that's what I really much love. That sometimes instead of whining and crying that I don't have enough money, to think, okay, I have this much money, because it's a lot of money anyway. To think, what can I do with these like chips? What you got from the poker? So okay, I can do this.
Yeah, I think the film isn't missing anything. It's perfect the way it is. And is it exactly what you had in mind in the first place, when you first had the idea?
I think so. A lot of it is. Of course, there was like in me. I think I many times see things more like in film. So I would have probably shot it in film, 35mm. If I would have also have more budget and more time. It's also like a matter of time. So what more it comes to the really like a detailed little things like a texture of the thing. But anyway, I'm still happy. So it's like this is also an extra thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's wrap up a little talk up with a look into the future. Is there anything on the horizon you can already talk about? What's coming next?
Well, next, I don't really like, thank you for asking. Many times I'm a little bit shy of talking things which are still not ready, so I have to keep it secretly here before I can talk about it.
No worries. So that will be coming out anything at some point.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm in
so-
the writing process,
Yeah.
so it will take probably a year or two.
Yeah. Really looking forward to everything that's coming our way from you.
Oh, thank
So
you.
thank you very much for the interview.
Oh, thank you.
And you're going up to the island of Norderney I
Yes,
right now for a
yes,
screening, so
yes.
enjoy that.
Thank you.
And yeah, I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Lovely.